Hey folks, CA Rachna Ranade here, and I welcome you all to a very important video, especially in the current market scenario. Well, today's video is about a concept which I have not yet covered on our channel, in spite of having more than 1,500 videos on our channel. But it said that better late than never. So I thought I should make a video on this, and the concept of today's video is about VIX. It has got nothing to do with this VIX animation team. It's not this VIX. It is VIX, that is volatility index. So in today's video, we are going to understand six key concepts. Number one, we'll understand what is volatility. Then we'll understand what is VIX. We then will move on to India VIX versus Nifty 50 versus IV, that is implied volatility. Then we'll talk about how to interpret the number of VIX. Because if someone says that currently the India VIX is at 26, what does that exactly mean is what we are going to understand today. We are also going to learn about how investors can use this number to make smart investment decisions. And also towards the end, we'll talk about the historic analysis of VIX. Video is going to be extremely informative, so keep on watching the video till the end. Let me tell you that India VIX, or the volatility index, has reached a level that it had reached during the 2024 elections. And during such high volatility times, traders who are trading in futures and options often end up in big losses. But what if I tell you that there could be a simple option selling strategy that has worked well even in high volatile situations? But how am I saying that? I'm going to take a webinar on 5th of April 2026, wherein I will prove you with 5 years of back-tested data as to how this strategy has worked over the past 5 years. The batch 1 that I conducted was houseful, and this is the second batch that I'm announcing. The batch is going to be conducted from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a 2 hours webinar. Seats are limited. So if you want to learn option selling in an absolute disciplined and structured manner, enroll now. Now, first, let's try and understand the simple meaning of volatility. Honestly, it's just plain English volatility. Let me give you a very simple example for that. Imagine a nice sea where it's extremely calm, a boat is very nicely sailing through the sea, no problem. It's a nice sunny day, so there is extremely low volatility. But what if times change? Oh, my animation team has already started gathering black clouds, and it starts raining, it starts thundering. माझ्या अंगावर पाऊस म्हणून पडला. Animation team got excited, huh? But now what you saw was the boat going through a terrific storm. And what would I say in such a situation? That there is extreme volatility, right? So like we have low volatility and like we have extreme volatility in a sea, we can have same concept in a stock market. We can have low volatility where market hardly moves by any point, and we can have extreme volatility in the market where markets can move up and down by 200 points, 300 points, 400 points, right? So that is nothing but volatility, that is degree of price fluctuation in the market. Simple, yes. Now, volatility can be of two types. One, I can say we can talk about historic volatility, and one can be like the expected volatility in the future. What is historic volatility? I'll try and study what has happened in the past. In the past, how much was the volatility? For example, in 2008, volatility had gone up to crazy levels. In 2020, during COVID times, volatility had hit a peak that no one had ever imagined also. This peak, how much it had hit, we are going to check in towards the end of the video, so keep on watching the video till the end. And if I'm talking about expected volatility in the future, that is gauged by a number that is called as VIX. But what exactly is it? Is it a monthly number? Is it an annualized number? All these things we'll understand in the next section of the video. Now let's understand VIX in plain language. If you can read this, India VIX is a real time number that tells you how much volatility market participants expect in the Nifty 50 index over the next 30 calendar days, expressed as an annualized percentage. And I'm sure you have understood nothing. Okay, we'll go one by one. First and foremost, it's expressed as an annualized percentage. So, for example, currently if you go and check on TradingView, if you just search India VIX, you will see that currently India VIX is at 25. Now, this 25 is nothing but an annualized percentage of the expected volatility. Okay. Now, if I were to understand how much would be the monthly volatility? A normal person would say, okay, simple, 25 divided by 12, that will be the monthly volatility. But then again, I'm not going to explain the absolute math over this, it'll take a lot of time. But for the formula, it's never divided by 5, it's divided by root of, it's not divided by 12, it's divided by the root of 12 or square root of 12. For the time being, just remember this annualized volatility. If I were to convert into monthly volatility, it's the VIX number divided by square root of 12. Okay. Today, we are not here for a maths lesson to understand why square root and why not normal. Right. Now, this number comes to around 7%. If you see this on screen, it's around 7%. So, how can I use this number? Today, the market closed around 22,700. So, this means that with 22,700 as the LTP of Nifty, with roughly 7% as the 30-day VIX number, it means that over the next 30 days, Nifty can move up or down by 7%. And 7% is a big number. So if it were to go up, it can go up to around 24,400. And if it were to go down, it can go down to around 21,100. So I hope you can understand that with the help of this number VIX, we can gauge what could be the levels for Nifty over the period of next 1 month. But then you might be like, Rashna, how can one understand this 25 ka number? How is this 25 ka VIX derived? Well, for that again, a lot of maths is involved. The base is nothing but how much is, acha, by the way, if you don't understand the next 1 minute, it is okay. I'm just trying to explain something which is a little bit tricky. If you don't know a lot about futures and options, this next 1 minute can be a bouncer. But if you can understand, nothing like it. So this 25, the VIX number is essentially calculated by the best bid and ask of the OTM options, out of the money options. Now, when do essentially people buy OTM options? They buy it as a hedge to their existing positions, like an insurance for their existing positions. So people who trade in F&O, they say that I'm ready to pay this premium as an insurance for my existing positions. So when are you ready to pay higher premium? Only when you feel that the risk is high. So whenever premiums for OTM calls go high, it means that the perceived risk is high, and based on this perceived risk, the VIX number is calculated. But as I mentioned, if this last 1 minute was a bouncer, just remember this, VIX is automatically calculated for people like you and me. It is already given on TradingView. What we have to understand, VIX number is this much divided by square root of 12. Whatever is the number, you can calculate the ranges for Nifty. Just one or two more extra points. This index was launched by NSE in 2008, and VIX is actually a trademark of Chicago Board of Exchange, CBOE, and NSE was granted a license to use it. Okay, so now that we know a lot about VIX, in the next section we'll understand what is the exact difference or similarity between Nifty 50, VIX, and something known as IV. Now first let's focus on the difference between Nifty 50 and VIX. I'm sure everyone by now understands both are indices, so that is a common point. But what does it measure? Nifty 50 measures the price level of the top 50 stocks in which are listed on the Indian stock market. So it essentially tells us the price level, it tells us the direction where the market is going. But if I were to understand India VIX, what does it tell us? What does it measure? It measures the expected volatility. It measures the fear in the market, right? Now, if I were to understand what is the unit, for Nifty, it's directly points. So, whenever I say 22,500, it's not rupees, but it's points, 22,500 points. And if I were to understand about VIX, if I say VIX is 25, it's like 25%, but annualized. And then you know how to do it on a monthly basis, right? And ultimately, whether Nifty 50 is predictive or is it like a current reading? Obviously, Nifty 50 is a current reading, whereas India VIX tells us that it's like a predictive thing. How much could be the volatility in the next 30 days? And obviously, that is the reason why I can say Nifty 50 is like present, whereas India VIX is predictive. Okay. Now, if I were to understand the difference between IV versus India VIX, is there a difference? Answer is absolutely yes. Now, you might be like, IV, ye kahan se aaya? By the way, if you trade in futures and options, I'm sure you have heard about this. IV is nothing but implied volatility. Okay, and many people feel that IV and VIX is same, but it is not. See, when I'm talking about VIX, it gauges the overall uncertainty in the market, overall volatility in the market. So if I were to give you an analogy for VIX, VIX can tell us like what could be the weather forecast of an entire city over the next 30 days. or over the next 1 year, whatever. Okay, it's a weather forecast of the entire city. But if I were to give you an analogy for IV will just tell us the temperature reading in one room of a single house. So, can I give an actual example for this? Actual example will be very simple again. India VIX will tell us the overall volatility in the entire market. But if I'm talking about IV is not about entire market. IV is about a specific strike price. So, let's say 26,000 as a strike price. What is the IV? 25,000. What is the IV? So, it will talk about the implied volatility for a specific stock, for a specific strike price. So, obviously, can I say granularity wise, IV is absolutely contract specific, whereas Nifty 50 is whereas India VIX is like a market wide phenomenon, right? And ultimately, who can use what? So if I were to understand for India VIX, that is useful for gauging the overall market fear. And if I were to understand about IV, this can help me to compare individual options. It can help me to understand the pricing. For those who have done CA or CFA, I'm sure you might have heard about Black and Scholes model that is used for calculating the options premiums, and now it is also used to calculate IVs. Again, for people like you and me, of course I'm a CA, but in general, otherwise, we need not calculate IV. It is available, it's readily available. So we just need to understand the interpretation. So in the next section, we'll try and understand what could be the interpretation of VIX and how a long term investor can use this number to take investment decisions. Now let's understand how VIX as a number can be used for my investment decisions. And for that, we are going to divide VIX levels into three categories: VIX below 15, VIX between 15 to 25, and VIX above 25. See, if it is VIX below 15, it's like market is absolutely calm, time pass, complacent, nothing much is happening. Daily 50, 100 points movement here and there, nothing much. Okay, so investors, traders are relaxed. 15 to 25 is something like cautious situation, alert situation. It could be something like an anxious situation that abhi tak all is well, but you never know what could be next in place. So people are alert between 15 to 25. And if it is above 25, then it is like extreme fear. And if you know, we are on the verge of that right now. Today, as I shoot the video, India VIX is around 26. So that this is going towards high or extreme fear. But in such situations, what should an investor do? Should we be really panicking and should we be selling our entire portfolio? Answer is obviously no. In fact, if you're a long-term investor, what should you be doing is whenever whenever VIX is above this 25 level, you should try and accumulate equities, maybe in an SIP manner, in maybe one fifth distributed manner, but you should be accumulating good stocks. Because what is the logic? Whenever VIX is extremely high, fear is extremely high, and the prices of stocks, prices of overall index is going to be on a lower side. This is a chance of buying good stocks at discounted prices. So whenever VIX is extremely high, in fact, this is a good time to accumulate equities. If VIX is lower than 15, the point that we were mentioning right now, extremely calm, cautious, okay. In this case, sometimes what happens is that you feel like everything is good, markets are going up slowly, steadily, nothing will happen. But this could be in fact a point where you never know, Nifty can start going from this calm complacent phase to maybe rising fear. So in fact, this could be something like you can consider slowly exiting your positions if you want to, or at least have a watch on your portfolio to see that VIX is not starting to move up. What if it starts to move up? What if it goes from this sub 15 level to 15 to 25 zone? Now this is something where we can say that we have to be cautious, we have to alert, we have to be alert, we have to be anxious. If I'm already having good profits, ideally I should have some trailing stop losses, and I should trail those stop losses, and I should not just be in buy and forget mode. So whenever VIX goes between this 15 to 25 level, have a good watch on your portfolio. Of course, whatever points I'm mentioning right now, that you should have a watch on your portfolio, sell on rise, this, that, this mainly applies to your satellite portfolio, not for your core portfolio. But I hope you have understood how can you interpret these VIX levels if you are an investor. What if you are an options trader? For an options trader, mainly you can use these levels to gauge how much wide should you go ahead if you are an option seller, what could be the expiry levels for Nifty and all that. These are extremely easy for option traders, use cases for option traders. So I hope with this you can understand the use cases for investors as well as traders. In the final section, we'll do a historic analysis of VIX. Now, this is something extremely interesting. Just have a look at this table. Of course, I'm not going to read out the reasons. If you want, you can pause the video, read the reasons, and you can see 2 years on screen, which no one actually talks about. But if you see year 2011, this was the European debt crisis. India VIX peak was around 35 to 40, and Nifty had gone down by 25% in one calendar year. No one talks about this year, right? So this is one classic example of when Nifty actually went down when India VIX hit a peak of 35 to 40. One more example, 2015, when we saw Indian economy not doing that great, inflation levels hitting higher highs, we saw Chinese yuan devaluating, we saw overall global demand drying up a bit. So with all these things, India VIX hit a peak of roughly 25 to 28, and in just 2 months, August to September, peak to trough, Nifty fell by almost 10%. So you can very clearly see in both situations, when VIX started to go up sharply, Nifty went down. 2022, again, everyone knows about Russia-Ukraine war. India VIX peaked 32 to 35, and just between Feb to June, Nifty corrected by almost 10%. 2024 elections, Indian general elections, Lok Sabha, VIX peaked at 31.7 in the month of June. In the same month, on one single day, June 4th, Nifty crashed by around 6%. So again, same example of how higher VIX resulted into a sharp fall in Nifty. And of course, the current US Iran Israel war, India VIX went up, is up almost in the range of 26 to 28%, and from in the month of March alone, Nifty has gone down by almost 11 to 13%. So as a general rule of thumb, what do you have to understand? Whenever VIX goes up, market comes down. This is a general rule. There are one or two exceptions in the stock market. Classic example, 2009 elections, Lok Sabha again. That is when the VIX had shot up and Nifty shot up by almost, if I remember, 15 to 17% in a single day. There were two back-to-back upper circuits. So always it is said that exception proves the rule. But what do you remember as a general rule of thumb? Whenever VIX goes up, markets come down. Now finally, let's have a look at historic VIX. How does it look like? How it has been in the past. So if you see here, you can see that somewhere around 2012, we saw a peak. Again, 2014, we saw a peak. Again, around 2015-16. Oh God, forget about COVID. COVID. Look at this, it had gone above 85 levels, but that's just one crazy point. Apart from that, you can see 2022, 24, 26, again going closer to that same level. So you can see that it's like a downward sloping trending line for VIX. But all in all, what can we see is that all these VIX is the wick of the candle, is extremely high, and it is reverting to the mean. Though VIX is going up and up, it's reverting ultimately to the mean. So are we extremely close to the upper end of the VIX level? Answer is yes. So is kind of can I say that fear to a great extent has already been captured by the market, is what I feel. Now if I, instead of just connecting the VIX, if I were to connect the bodies of the candle, what could happen is that you can see here, this is the body of the candle, 1 2 3 4, four-ish touch points plus some wick touch point you can see here, and we are already close to this level. So all in all, what can we understand? That we are somewhere maybe close to the bottom of the market, is what I understand based on VIX. What are your thoughts about current market? Are we closer to the bottom, or is there a lot of downside still left in the market? Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you love today's video, please don't forget to smash the like button. Please don't forget to share this video with your friends. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye bye. You might have come across such advertisements on various social media platforms. Please note, all of these are fraudsters promising unbelievable returns through stock tips. I don't provide any calls or advisory services. I provide only educational content through my social media handles and through my website rachnaranade.com and rachnaranade.in.